Okay, quick update. Trying to be quick. Of course, it doesn't work, but I can always try. It's Tuesday, and last stream I did last Friday. That was very interesting day. I did have the technical interview, talked about that, and then started to develop my Hypnoni technique. After that day, for a few days, I've been thinking about what Okay, now it works. I will say this again. Hopefully, I'll notice if it disconnects again. But what I was saying is, since last Friday, I've been thinking about the possible move to the Philippines, and my possible setup change. I can't take my PC with me. I don't want to, even if I could. I have Mac Mini, M1, not that good. But I think I mentioned on some stream that possibly I could buy another Mac Mini, more powerful, start using that as my main computer. But then I have a laptop which is garbage. I don't want to use that anymore. When I bought it almost 5 years ago, the point of it was to be just a temporary laptop that I can write some code, open a browser. It was never supposed to be a heavy work machine. I keep checking whether the microphone will disconnect again. Seems okay. So even if I bought a new Mac Mini, which could cost around 1,000 euros, if I wanted a good one, I still would buy another laptop with another 1,000 euros. And I started to think that maybe I can buy a MacBook instead. So combine these into one, I would have only one laptop and not a separate PC or Mac Mini. But it's now unclear how good MacBook would I want. I don't think the Mac OS would be a problem because I could use a VM. But yeah, the specs, those are something I'm considering, trying to solve. How much RAM would I use, or would I want 16 gigabytes is the most common one. Is 24 the optimal? Should I go with that? How about the storage? At least half a terabyte, but terabyte should be good. And then how old there are used MacBooks. I think M2 is too old. M3, is it, or I was looking at new ones with M5 chip. It's not Pro version. It's quite close to M4 Pro, but then again M4 has 2 fans, whereas M5 normal version has only 1. And I don't have experience on Macs that much, but that's something I have been thinking about. And then in general, just what I would need to do here: sell stuff, give them away, and then research everything I can about what do I need to do, create a checklist. The phone number might be the biggest question mark right now. How would that go? I have a fixed term contract, so I'm pretty sure I have to pay my phone number or phone plan until September. It's 20 euros a month. Not too bad, but yeah, receiving text messages for 2-factor authentication. Does it cost how much to open those text messages in the Philippines? So phone number, I think, is the biggest question mark, and internet. But then wall socket. I'm used to always using Type-C socket, which is common in Europe. Never been outside of Europe, but it seems that in the Philippines they use Type-A, B, and C. So maybe some sort of not converter, but yeah, something that I can use to plug my chargers there. Today I received a message that I passed the technical interview, and the final interview, the proper one, will be on Thursday, 2 days. I have already kind of I'm over the hype of possibility to move to the Philippines, so I'm already relaxed and kind of over it mentally. If I get accepted, if the pay is good enough that I will accept it, I'm going to be very happy, very excited. But right now, I feel... Wait, this is about passion. Now, it's not anymore live update. Do you have anything else? I don't think so. Can I do this? Nope. No, of course. This way. Developing my personal passion is the main topic for this stream. I'm very much aware of how many times I have kind of decided on stream that now I will start being more productive and not do these long sessions. So I will time this and so on. But this time is different. If it wasn't these interviews, this this possible great leap in my life, I wouldn't have motivation right now to even start a stream, to do anything productive. But I have that pressure now. I have the pressure to think about all of these unknowns. That's one good example of how to motivate myself, how to become more productive. And that's exactly one reason why this Philippines opportunity is good, even if the work itself wouldn't be optimal towards my own solutions. It would still give a lot of pressure, a lot of development that maybe I wouldn't get the last year, next year or two. So this would make sure that at least I get out of Finland, I get that benefit, and then start to learn a new culture, actually start to learn a new language that I would use hopefully daily, meet new people. Yeah, the topic is, I don't feel much motivation to prepare for this interview. The evaluations are done, at least it seems like it, like the language evaluation and then technical part. So they should have an understanding of what are my goals, would I be good fit to this role, can I do it, and how well, how big of a risk is it to hire me. The final interview, I think they will just kind of summarize everything, and hopefully we'll get talk about pay, and I hope it's not going to be a problem, because if it will, then they have misunderstood me from the beginning and kind of wasted their time. My time has not been wasted. I have already developed greatly during this hiring process. Passion. Am I passionate about this opportunity? Yes, but I don't feel that I should prepare for the interview. But if I did prepare, I would increase my chances to get the job. The thing is, this is the laziness of my brain, my character, that has always been there. When I say I want to increase the tempo of my thoughts and become more active, this is exactly it. This feels like I have thrown the ball to the other one, where even though I can prepare for this, I have done this so often, or always in my life, that if I know that things are going forward without my immediate need of action, it's fine for me to just wait. So I'm sort of in this waiting mode. That if I ask myself, hey, what's going on? Like, what's next? The response I get is, well, there's the interview coming. Let's hope it goes well. I don't want to do any action before that, any decision. It's not fully true, because I am always doing something nowadays, which is great, but not enough. And this talk about passion, that's very high level stuff. It's not, and the whole experience or this opportunity move to the Philippines, that already is huge. Like moving to another country outside of Europe on my own without knowing anyone there, of course that's huge, but it's not even so. Why I'm very relaxed with this is my goal is world peace. It's one step further. So compared to that, this is easy stuff. This is like mundane even. And of course I can move there. Of course I can learn a new language. Compared to my actual goal, it's nothing. So that's why I'm very relaxed. But yeah, this is a chance. Now the metal is hot. This is a chance to shape things further, to make sure I would get this job. I'm sure. I'm already, even if I'm 100% sure that I want this, I can still increase my chances. How others would kind of get my excitement if I'm just very neutral, if I don't show it. That it is often an indicator of how much someone wants their position, how excited they seem to be. I am excited, but I don't show it. And also because, as I said, my real goal is much more difficult, like much higher level than this move would be. It's not the only option. That's very important here as well. That for a week I have been thinking about this a lot, and if I go with my normal natural instincts or way, I'm not even considering other options because I already know I want this. But that's the problem with my flexibility. In life, I have pretty much chosen the first thing that comes up every time. I don't. When has been a situation where there was an opportunity and I didn't take it, or I had to make a choice? If there was a choice, my method would have been probably just pick something, because I'm so flexible, so I can make anything good, any choice good. And right now there isn't an obvious other choice, and that means I'm more vulnerable to take this chance without considering anything, because I feel that, hey, it's clearly I only have one option and it's good, it seems very nice, I don't even need to think anything else. That's not true. That is not true. I tried that a week ago. I tried to break this opportunity, to see holes in it, to see whether it wouldn't be that helpful in the end. But I managed to just make it more powerful or better for myself, or seem better, because the more I think about it, the more I find good things about it. But finding bad things is difficult because I don't have anything to compare this with. And by anything, I mean I can't just use an alternative where I will not get this and continue applying for random jobs here in Finland. So if I get a random job, it's going to be worse than this, almost 100%, because I would live in Finland, I would use Finnish. Okay, move to Helsinki, at least, hopefully. But it's not about the technical skills and yeah, or meaning software development. I don't think I need those skills from a job. So what kind of job? Operations. That's something I think would be better than this opportunity, but I don't have experience enough to land a job like that. If I became very active in startups, it's possible, yes, I would find myself in a good position where I would learn a lot. I would have opportunities to develop myself. I would have to learn many things, and operations included, the smaller the startup would be. Does this? Yes, okay. Microphone is holding. Passion. At my core, I'm waiting. I have talked about this many times. I've thought about it for years. And I have developed further. So definitely I noticed that my mind is more active. That at some level in the stack, the problem is no more. I don't remember even that, hey, at some point I paused at this level. I didn't continue my thoughts. I kind of waited for someone else to give the answers to me. Whereas right now, I don't do that at some level, but at the core still, I do pause. I do wait for someone else to make a move, or I will settle to good enough. And this preparation is that I feel I don't need to prepare because it's good enough. My skills as an English speaker are good enough. I already passed the evaluations that I can't prepare, and it's in some sense it's true. I can't prepare much, but what I could do is go over everything that was talked about that I do remember, research the company, continue learning Tagalog, do communication practices. Like right now, I could speak better. Everything that would give better impression during the final interview. I'm actually excited about this, and I can communicate at a clear manner. My guess would be that the pay is going to be the last or the biggest reason why I wouldn't get a job, wouldn't get this opportunity if my requirements are too high, that someone else do the job with less, then that's going to be the main reason. It's not going to be my communication skills. But still, like if I had a chance to increase my chances, shouldn't I take it? That's about increasing the passion. That not settling to everything. I feel the same feeling that I have used in Kipnuni technique as an example of what bait to not take. That I have done enough. That I have already gotten a lot of new ideas, new feelings from this hiring process, that it's good enough. Good enough for what? Moving forward, like I have already experienced that. Developing myself, moving forward in different paces, doing different sizes of jumps forward. I have already done that. Am I comparing myself to something? Is there a standard? How much can I develop? I think start asking these questions. It's a good thing. Because I have set a subconscious limit how much I can do. And of course it's coming from habit. Passion. World peace. Right now it seems, or it feels like I'm not looking at my goal. I'm not looking at the world peace goal and trying to reach that. I'm focusing on making sure that the connections I have broken, like entertainment, for example, that those don't come back. So I'm in some way looking back, still moving forward, but looking back and trying to focus on that. This passion is about looking forward and wanting something. That not settling. So why do I settle? Can I develop this quickly? So feeling of doing enough. Is it clear enough that I can develop it? It would be natural to just slowly get used to this level of development and then increasing it gradually. What has happened to this day? Just continue that. Can I speed this up? What I could do is instead of focusing on this, focusing on that part that some part of me, my brain wants me to go. Like, I have done the work, now I can maybe watch entertainment or get a reward, because that's really what's happening here. Is I feel I have done enough for this. So where does my brain want me to go? My subconsciousness. Just relax, wait and see how things will go. Why would I break this? Am I afraid to choose something and go full speed towards it? I'd be so glad if I found some trauma here. I could just fix this like that. I'm a control freak, that's clear. The way I'm controlling my life is crazy. One reason why I have been cautious of choosing anything has been my my passive mind in the moment. That if the reason why I don't speak more during group or in groups, in social situations, is not that I don't have anything to say, but rather I can't start talking because my mind will stop. I can't keep up. That's why I don't like leading positions. Is I haven't had that confidence to keep up with that role. I can start things. I'm very good at that. And I have courage. Many people say I just need courage to go make a speech. But no, I have experience, a lot of experience on trying something, having courage to start it, and then not being able to continue, not because I was too afraid or something. My mind just doesn't work like that. So yeah, this is probably a similar situation where even if this is not just one conversation, I don't need to improvise. I have time to think. Of course, it feels like I don't trust myself to be able to manage and stay in control during this whole process. Meaning if I sped up, if I moved faster. For example, if I speed up my speaking, I make more mistakes, and then I might hit a wall, which will take a long time to recover from. I have said it many times that slowing down my speech is the right way to go, because many people do speak slowly. For some reason, I have this need to try to speak quickly. And that goes back to the acting. I have acted, talking and thinking. If I act, I don't need to think about it. I just need to be sound like smart, or sound that I speak. And partly because I have sped up so many videos, I'm used to hearing people talk quickly, even if they in real life spoke slowly. I would always speed it up, kind of to the same level, same speed, so that this distorts my sense of what is normal speaking speed. With this life work, this world peace goal, can this be straight? I have hesitated to make moves, not a surprise. Because there was always something that brought me back to the planning table and opened up new opportunities, new chances, new ideas. I have been afraid of this, that if I choose something too soon, I'll just take it. That's why I'm very glad no one has offered me clear opportunities before, that I have had this chance to develop myself and what I want. It's very common advice to say that, hey, just try something, just do something and you will figure it out. In my case, it doesn't work. That's the difficult part. Pretty sure. I don't want to sound just narcissistic, or yes, it doesn't work because of course I can find my place. I can find my role. That's the most easy thing ever. But if I wanted to do something new that hasn't been done yet, like world peace, it's not working yet. There are a lot of pieces missing. Solutions undone. I can't go with that route. It works, of course it works with people. They will find out. They will figure out a role, a position that makes them happy. They can enjoy life in. And I have never had any difficulty in my current place, current life. Everything I do is easy and fun. So, but yeah, that advice doesn't apply to me. Just try something out. If my goal is world peace, this Philippines opportunity is sort of like that, but because it includes so much what I would see very beneficial for my world peace plan, that I will accept this. But this hasn't happened before. Of course, I have never been this stage before where I'm very close to having like a job, like a normal job, not normal maybe, but still some way. and then making an actual move. I have just floated during my studies for years, having my own time to develop and try out some things. This is an actual move. So if I was afraid to choose something, now this is a choice. I would make choice finally, like I have never done before. The alternative is to remain here in Europe. If I went to Taiwan, okay, maybe that's better than the Philippines, but in some way, the moving to the Philippines is already kind of not perfect, but very good. Of course, different language, but it doesn't matter. So the alternative is to remain here in Europe. For development. And yes, what would be important here is to have confidence to choose this, that I can choose this opportunity, try to get it. So if I can prepare for the interview, if I can get the job, then do that. That if I chose something, I should do it 100%. That it doesn't anymore apply to waiting for better opportunities. I think time is right to start making moves. Otherwise, I'm not developing anymore. I have such a strong foundation, I hope, that it shouldn't break. No matter what I choose, will go toward what pace. We can't know what's happening in the future. That some part of me would love to get me out of this idea and just remain here, continue developing myself like I have to this day. But the uncertainty of that plan is huge. Yes, maybe the potential is more, but I have to realize there are limits to my developments. There are limits to my motivation. I'm becoming older and older. I can't say that I'm noticing it yet. Physically, I don't care, but mentally, is my learning ability weakened a lot? Must admit, I don't really know. My memory is very bad. If I needed to remember what happened 3 weeks ago, it's already gone. It's like so far ago that I don't grasp the time anymore. But it's good. There's a good reason for that. Why my memory is bad is because I'm moving on very quickly. I'm just accepting my developments and then choosing next thing to focus on, which is really a great thing. I don't want to remember pointless stuff, even if they happened only 2 weeks ago. I'm already past that. So yeah, passion. Going back to that, I'm passionate about this world peace. As I said, I don't focus on it that much because I have already gotten used to it. Oh yeah, world peace. But my mind doesn't go into the thought itself, it just uses preview. I don't wake up passionate that, hey, I want to reach world peace. I'm jumping between topics here, not focusing on anything. It's fine, really. I don't have anything better to do. I thought about continuing my setup. Setup idea. Go through files maybe already, or go through my stuff, start to take pictures of them, or continue. I have already done half, I think. Then start to get rid of them by selling or just giving it away. But I can do that later. Right now, what I can't do after the interview is prepare for it. Right now I can do this preparation and then have pressure if I get it. I have time to sort out everything else. So it's not a bad thing that, or it's not a problem. Let's have a clear goal here. My philosophy might be a limiting factor. Meaning, in some level, it's quite depressing that I'm not excited by it. I think I mentioned this in some stream that part of me would like to be more excited about this Philippines idea, but then part of me downplays it. And I can't get excited about this because I have the bigger plan. That problem I have with any entertainment, really, that there is a limit to it, how much I can get entertained, I can enjoy them. compared to what it was in the past when avoidance was one of the major sources of enjoyment when consuming entertainment. I don't have that anymore. Being passionate. I'm doing this out of need, not out of want. I don't want anything. I just choose. So my brain forces me to choose to do something before I die. And I choose this. But it's pushing me from the back, pushing me forward, making me move. I'm leaning towards it. I'm not running forward and finding these adventures. I'm being pushed forward. It's enough. I feel that it's enough. Or, yeah, it is enough to to develop and be happy. But could I increase my happiness? Could I want something? Do I want something here in life? A few years ago it was easy. Of course I wanted something. But now I think I'm analyzing everything too quickly, too deeply. I would like to attend Twice's concert, but it would cost around 500 euros. I don't want to spend that money now. And if I thought about it further, or even a little bit, I would come to a conclusion that I don't need it. So even if I wanted something, I would still reason. And I can't be unaware of that. If I ask myself or my subconscious, do I want world peace? The answer really is no. That came out wrong. Yes, I do want world peace, but I would like to have it. I mean, do I want to work on world peace? The subconscious answer is no. I'm still working towards it because it's a need, but it's not want. is it possible to create this kind of abstraction? So on January, I built myself meaning. Realized I can build on top of nothingness. That meaning is world peace. I have not enforced that because I haven't needed. It's on subconscious level, it's clear what I want to do or what is the only option, and my brain doesn't want to or doesn't have any need to question that. So that's why I haven't felt need to develop it. What does passion feel like? I have always restricted myself from choosing something because there has been some work that needed to be done. For example, my studies. Until December, I had always that feeling that I can't start to do something, some other project than the school projects. That if I do something, that needs to be that. Being happy is a choice. It's not a necessity to live. So it doesn't come naturally. That's why I can increase my happiness or excitement. That's temporary. I have been or experienced many occasions not having energy or excitement towards anything, kind of feeling depressed, but knowing that I could change that. And then by increasing my consciousness, I was able to change the way I look at my life and that current situation, and suddenly became very excited about something. So having a sense that I don't care about anything, then 5 minutes later, completely different. So here, if I have a sense that I'm not passionate about anything, because of my experience with self-development and that example I gave, I can't trust that feeling. And that is a sort of annoying thing, that I can't trust if my brain says it likes something. Like, okay, it doesn't mean I should do it. Passion. It's a very deep level, high conscious idea, meaning it doesn't change itself easily. If I don't focus on this, it doesn't get developed. That's a good thing. It means that maybe there is an easy trick to develop it and change it, to have a passion. my whole personality is about being flexible. Fortunately, not physically as well, mentally flexible. That I settle for everything. That's why I have this natural attitude that it doesn't matter if I get this opportunity or not. Can I, and that's a strength in some cases. It's a strength that I can fit into any group, any situation. Like, it's good. It's nice to have, because I know many people that are just not flexible. Yeah, they need to have certain criteria for themselves. But can I somehow have both? Have the flexibility, but then want something, not settling for anything less than what I want. I would guess that most people who have a passion, they do everything to get what they want. Under all of that motivation is some sort of fear, or the goal would grant them certain safety feeling. That's why they do it. I don't have that. My goals are at the level where if I were passionate about this, it would touch other people as well. Automatically, it would influence others. So I couldn't do this on my own. I'm passionate about this, and then, well, yeah, focus on development, maybe. But even that would hopefully disrupt the way we communicate, at least in the future. So the more I would be passionate, the more it would influence others. And everything that includes others, I've always been hesitant to do. That's why I'm not good at asking. Although, okay, nowadays it's not a problem anymore, but it has been in the past. Have I developed this or thought about this? My relationship with others. That's probably the biggest reason why I don't do anything big, because that would influence others and I would have to take responsibility. I would rather let someone else lead and make the decisions. Subconsciously, I feel bad even at thinking that I would do something knowing that it will influence, or it would target others. forgetting a word. Selfish. Selfish. Of course, I want to help them always. Now opening up this topic, this issue, I do get a sense that, okay, there are a lot of these subconscious barriers that I have set to myself. If there are many of them together, they're strong enough to have a very, very strong, clear indication that don't do this. So don't be active. Don't have a passion that involves others. But I could develop this individually way. I'm sensing a little tiredness already. It's like 7 p.m. This matter, definitely energy requirement, energy. Hungry. Passion is not just temporary spark of energy. It's long-term determination, obsession. I've already, with that alien idea, with that being 100-year-old, I have in some way released myself from the bubble and constraints of social norms. So I can apply that idea here to just have my own goal and not caring what others are saying. Of course, doing it in a way that doesn't hurt anyone, but reaching for it, having my own motivation and passion. If I removed all the barriers that I mentioned, some of them, not wanting to involve others with this, for example, I removed that and everything that came up, thought about my world peace goal, defining it more clear, make like these steps, knowing what I needed to do. I think I could allow myself to just move on my own pace without needing to kind of seem super excited, because maybe that excitement requires comparing myself to others. I have just scratched the surface here, it seems. And I know I can change my viewpoint a lot here. So there's a lot of room, lot of room to develop, build. Passion. How would I define it? What is a passion? If I were to build this manually, knowing what it is a good idea. Passion might be something that's defined by action, that something becomes passion only when someone does something with a certain intensity for a certain period of time consistently, then it's a passion. So it's driven by strong motivation, blind motivation probably. So being inside one's own bubble. Might be fueled by fear, fueled by traumas. Or unrealistic view of this world. I think that's very common. People just don't see how difficult something is. They see a gap that, hey, I could do this, and it seems like easy thing. That's why they have the motivation. That's why they might succeed, because they don't see all the dangers. If they saw all the dangers, they wouldn't try that. Having a passion. I don't allow myself entertainment and sort of be happy right now, because I don't want to settle. I'm moving forward. I'm still moving forward. That's why I don't have any routines. I don't have time to build them. I'm hanging out a lot around this zero state next to death. Of course, I'm fully relaxed there, but still it's an indicator that I'm still molding my life. But the vision is that at some point it should start to cool down, to have a certain structure. And that will be my life. And once I move far enough, certain aspects, for example, becoming a global citizen in some way, this opportunity would do that, to make me go through this process of what it means to get rid of connections here in, or like bureaucracy stuff here in Finland, becoming an immigrant, seeing the world from another side of the world, or Earth. But then like when travel becomes normal, I start to think very easily from any viewpoint or any point of view around the globe. I don't need to develop that any further. Similarly, what I have done with my philosophy, it's done. It was done over a year ago. It hasn't shaken even with all of these developments in the last few months. My philosophy has never broken, shaken, anything. So I see my life going the same way in other aspects. Becoming global citizen, that's one thing. I care of all of humanity. I want to feel relaxed with the idea of traveling to any place, talking to any people. I have yet to develop more of my communication skills, but once those are enough, at a state where I can give a speech at no notice, I can think anything whenever I want, I'm able to have a conversation with anyone. Okay, of course, I can do that already in some sense, but not good enough. Not good enough that I'm happy with. So that area is not settled, not even close. IRAC, thought structure, I want to do that because it enables not only memory, not only active thinking, giving it structures like for planning ahead or seeing a calendar, but creation, like creative potential of IRAC is the best it can give. Pronunciation, of course, is important part of communication, understanding others, and yes, there's a lot of work to do there, but I can see a future where that's sort of settled, that I'm using or developing myself around all of these topics, areas, and of course, hopefully I will continue to develop every part of them, but I will settle to some stage. Understanding different helping communities, having been involved with organizing events or just collaborating on different projects. After doing that, maybe even a few months only, I see myself having unlocked or kind of leveled up enough that area. And then little by little, my life would kind of, or the pieces of my life would find their right places and then click. And maybe I can start forming routines. No, it's nothing. It's not important for me. I don't need that to control myself. It's not very efficient. Not efficient. Where is this notification? Nope. Rescue. Fortunately not now. I want to lose weight. An hour 20. Passion. Where was I? Take a break. Let's continue. Passion. Great. Why do I always have such easy topics? Why am I wearing my watch? Uncomfortable. Passion, passion, passion. Yes, increasing that. So I know I will move away from this high level thinking eventually, especially if I get this job, then I will get into that rat race. So that's a state where the bubbles are possible. Where I'm currently at, can't have a bubble. It's breaking all the time. But there it is possible. But even if I'm conscious and thinking at this level, I can always clear the road ahead. So I guess the next step is to remove limitations. Right. Is that right? So passion, I didn't define it well enough. So what is my goal? What is the plan? The plan is to make sure I keep on the right track by increasing my passion towards world peace. So it's like a magnet that I can't go too far to the side. That no matter what I choose, if I get this opportunity, I will keep on track. And I have a clear sense of what I can always do and what I want to do. I can start making it fun and also scale it up. So not settle. So removing the barriers. And in concrete terms, what it means, it's not just reprogramming my mind. So reprogramming for me means to change paths or connections to something else from someone from point A to point B. This is not about redirecting the road traffic, but rather building it, building a village. I can always redirect it. It's quite easy, but building it. So what it is, it's a source of Motivation, it's an abstract motivation, so it doesn't come from the real source, which is my philosophy and jump from death, the endless well of motivation, but it's an abstraction layer, but it's fine because it's still built on top of the nothingness and it's logical, so I can do that. So it is to build a balanced life which gets me towards world peace as fast as possible. So find a role, a place in this world that I can fit into, takes me towards world peace the quickest. And that would be a point where I don't need to constantly rework. I don't need to build new things or demolish old ones. That what I'm doing still. And this can be built piece by piece, so it doesn't have to be already balanced, considering the long-term vision, but it can be piece by piece. So some part is already finished, like the foundation. That's done. And the goal. Two maybe most important ones, creating the frame for all of this. But first thing right now is to start clearing out the area. So I have the frame where I can build, but now the earth is uneven. So I will first start clearing it, but at the same time start looking for opportunities to build, because piece by piece I could build it ready, or some part of it. It's not one normal building house. It's many things at once and then scaling that up. Okay, let's start by figuring out something to develop. It's always fun. Developing is one of the easiest thing. My mind, I don't like figuring out new things like this passion thing. Haven't considered it much, or just maybe glanced at it before. But yes, so development target. What do I want? So of course I don't want to wait anymore, but who am I waiting for? Waiting for other people. So I think the development should be around that. Becoming selfish, including other people. be passion. Or instead of choosing some random development area, I will first focus on the goal, world peace, and then whenever some obstacle arises, I can remove it. But focus on the goal first. Start. And I can start simply with a question: do I like the goal? Do I like the target? And then what do I like it? What do I like about it? Makes me turn my whole life towards it. So world peace. Thinking about it is fun. Seeing a world where I could travel to any country. Of course, tourism might become a problem in the future, but in principle, being able to visit any country and then not having to worry about some government, some organization that could have bad intentions, rather consider the whole population that I can trust. But if the population is good, then the rulers, the decision makers are also. So I can trust them. If I did something wrong, it was because, and then was punished by it, it was because I really did something wrong. Sort of seeing the world with more unified rules, like United Nations maybe was supposed to be that. Where immigration happens more mixed together, focus on bigger problems like climate change or reach the stars, try to fix poverty. I don't know about single currency, but yeah, more unified actions. Friendly competitions, like yes, war games, that's fine, but maybe esports type. Why does it have to be on the battleground? That's so boring. So last season, having wars. Passion. Universal basic income being a thing, that would be great. Of course, making it global, yeah, that's a difficult thing, but but the amount of creativity I think would happen quite a lot. AI can have its place among people. Maybe it will be restricted in some way in the future, but I'm quite optimistic it wouldn't get out of hand. But yeah. Do I want this vision? If I keep living, then yes. Is it a deal breaker if I don't reach here? No. I'm realistic. It's just that I'm bored, I want to do something. This vision seems like the best thing. And then increasing the lifespan. Would I want to live forever? Like, sure. Because death is such a boring option. If I could choose, then sure, I would love to live more. My brain capabilities are quite limited, but maybe in the future that can be enhanced. Maybe I will always find joy in entertainment, art, sports. Hmm. I think I could just keep developing this vision further. I know there are a lot of people who have certain dream. They have created this vision for themselves. They want that dream to happen, but they don't want to work for it. Then when it doesn't happen, they lose themselves. Suddenly the floor is taken away from them and they drop. This is something that I can reach towards. Wait. So defining this goal. thinking about my communication solutions, collaboration, information, education. And just try to create the picture better and better. Would that lead towards more motivation for reaching it? This is sort of reprogramming or programming my mind. Even if I build it, just trying to think about the logic of this. So defining my goal better, so well that it and make it very easy to go there, think about that. And start creating these scenarios, how I could reach that. For example, taking a volunteering position at some event, getting experience, inspiring others to do good, using time so I can think about quite detailed scenario where I work towards solution, proposition, and then share that on some platform or directly to people, getting feedback, getting together a team, group that I can work with, who are hopefully more qualified than me, creating a demo, showcasing that, or start testing it out different places. So and then try to build more scenarios. What can happen? Even if I don't get this Philippines opportunity, then I can still try to. So I can create scenarios where maybe I might apply for positions in Taiwan if there are some, or just start contacting people that I could find on LinkedIn or anywhere who would want to collaborate with regarding democracy, digital solutions, and at some point be able to go there. Look for studying opportunities. That's really a choice. That I would, if I don't get this opportunity, I would remain here in Finland and I would finish my degree, then start or look for any opportunity if there are in Taiwan for doing my master's, applying for there, like moving there, living there for 2 years, studying some AI development. Then I could remain there maybe. That's an option. Or here in Europe, moving to Germany, trying to find positions that I'm underqualified, but taking the technologies, contacting the people of, around what is it? Around NGOs and well, people who want to do good. That maybe there are groups or projects that are looking for people, qualified people and I could be one of them next year, in 2 years. So different options. Preparation for this. Getting tired. I'm considering ending the stream and then start watching music videos and start creating these scenarios, but because I know myself that wouldn't possibly be that productive, effective to have an option. Such a waste of storage space to stream these in 1440p and then have just part of the video being me and the other part just static, but it is what it is. Communication development. I think the passion here is something that benefit me the most, because communication I can do later and it is good enough, but what I could use more is more clear idea of all of my options, and then if I'm able to increase my passion, then that's going to be more valuable during the interview than having practiced a few sentences or try to practice my pronunciation, learning some vocabulary. Anyways, tomorrow I would do some history research about the company again, going through the notes, what was sent to me by email, making sure I understand everything as well as possible before the interview, going through the money again, like taxation, the conversion rates. I only looked at the kind of, well, the rate, euros to Philippines peso, but I didn't look at what it would actually be if I transferred or bought pesos or other way around. Using a bank. So that's different. They have their own fees. But I can do that tomorrow. I think I'm used to watching music videos while doing something like this. I almost going towards it, but maybe I can keep going. I would document this at least and just keep yapping. Having some visual stimulus does help in some aspects, but maybe it would be too distracting. My mind would wander if I didn't keep thinking aloud. So okay, I will keep going, just thinking aloud. So passion, this vision. So yeah, world working together, not having to complain to the government because there aren't good enough information sources about how everything works, what decisions are on their way. It is available here in Finland, but it's not readable. So being able to get involved with politics here in Finland, but everywhere else as well. I could go and see what's going on in Zimbabwe, what people are talking about, what kind of political structure there is, and what are their issues, goals, as people, as organizations, or departments. Yeah, and more cultural events. Without wars, without aggression, like collaboration between China and Taiwan. Maybe there are already, but I don't know, between India, Pakistan, in different parts of Africa, Eastern Congo, having peace there, Sudan, in Mali. People understanding each other better. That's one of the goals with the communication platform. People would understand other points of view. Then become more empathic. Okay, let's think about my options. So in 10 days, I have to apply for 4 more positions. Of course, I'm waiting for this opportunity to close. Or to get finalized what it is, the results of it, before I would start looking for new ones. But that scenario, trying to apply for jobs here in Finland or abroad, of course. Continuing my projects, I started that hypnotic technique, continuing that. I'm very excited about it. Then the other project as well. But that's unclear. What should I work? I feel that subconsciously I feel that I have enough things. I know that these are my options. I just choose something, but that's not enough. I can decide that already. Make one plan. So if Philippines thing didn't happen, I would a little bit relax with getting rid of my stuff, but would still continue that. So that MacBook, buying that, it's not about this opportunity only. But in anyways, I think that's right move. Do that. Finish the keep knowing technique, get it on my website, share it, get feedback, start conversations with people. Then what? World peace. And that keep knowing technique is something I would include in my coaching business if I can do that. I think it's quite probable that there are limitations on what I could do without any license. So I'm not a licensed therapist. So could I do that without any licenses? Maybe, but maybe not. That's one option. But is that so like next week? My goal for this to this day has been to just improve my productivity, meaning I would do more and eventually I would do all of this that I now see as options. But that's not a very good way to motivate myself. My mind doesn't work like that. Just do more. So look into the business. Licenses is required. Gamify politics. Let's think about that. I can continue the demo. I can create a presentation and start sending emails, start contacting people. How high results I could get by doing that project. continuing developing a gamified platform. That's also an opportunity I could have taken before. Just become passionate about that, like this Philippines opportunity. But I chose not to. Because it's not the end goal, but neither is this Philippines opportunity. If I continue to develop that marketing, it would be communication development. Oh yeah, and that keep learning technique would include making videos also. I would want to make at least a simple video of me explaining technique. And then I would have, if at least some people would test it out and it works, and I would get feedback. I would like to do research also to find similar techniques, whether they work, how they're different, and see if there are any potential for this to be more interesting to people. Should I focus on trying to spread the knowledge or try to find people who are doing similar things but different and try to get their opinions and then possibly have an avenue of landing a job or joining a project that would be about this self-development, because it is a piece in the puzzle of world peace, how to make people manage themselves, develop themselves, handle their emotions better. But I see it myself just a tool that I built for myself to be able to develop myself or to align my life towards this world peace. And because it's such a simple tool, if someone else was able to do it many times, they would understand, and especially collectively, they would understand what's the point of it. So they wouldn't need me there to be the marketer or to develop it further by visual means or any means. I think they would get the same idea that I had and then continue on their own. But I would focus on this communication part, gamification part. But yeah, then start contacting more people, collaborating on projects, create the initial plans for the communication platform or ideas, then start doing research around that, see whether there are similar projects, and contact them. Try to have good conversations, try to understand, start reading about democracy, the history of it, all of this. Start learning the tools that would possibly be used in the final solution. Of course, I can build demos, but it'd be best maybe to start with the right tools right away. When it comes to entertainment, I'm in a very good position where I have already forgotten pretty much many types of entertainment. Oh yeah, they existed. So they're not the problems anymore. The music videos, that's the only one that's still remaining, but I do benefit from it. So that's why I'm keeping it. Working out, definitely important. Yeah, I have these different projects. All of them have their own good things. Like the project to use the communication platform ideas, core ideas, this user experience solutions for project where I would map out different communities, helping groups, communities around the world to have an easy way to browse them that anyone could use, that I would have working demo or solution that I could link to people that, hey, take a look at this. If you want to do good, then this is one source of the ways. That could lead to something, because many of, or kind of all of these, or at least the communication platform that includes choosing tech that I would like to become good at. Right now, in my projects, it's just using AI to output something I want, but I'm not thinking that much what's under the hood. Lights to 40%. Hours. AI startups. Let's move to the Philippines path. If I move there, the projects I'm discussing mentioning, I can do there as well. I want to do them there as well. Of course, I would have a day job. So pretty much 2 days a week, I would have time for it, or for them. Let's think about that quickly. What is my idea? What would I do there? Learning the language, of course. That's an easy one. Going out. If I get chosen, I will want to learn the Philippines geography. I love doing that. I have many, or over 10 years ago, or in, what was it, 9th grade? I learned all the flags of the world, and then country, locations, capitals. I didn't go further than that, but I would love to, or I would want to know Philippines geography. It's funny because I don't know Finland's geography that well. Some city is mentioned, and like, which is not even that small. I might not know where it is, even here in Pirkanmaa, which is the municipality that Tampere is in. No, wait, is it municipality? Something like that. I don't know the cities, but I would like to do that with Philippines, and especially in Manila. So knowing all the cities that the Manila metropolitan area is consisting of. Trying to learn the roots and relations between different places. The transport system there, public transport, there are rails, there are buses, there are small buses unique to Manila, or unique to the Philippines. Those are quite interesting. So I would do that. And then what is my idea of socializing there? Oh, no. So, of course, walking on the streets, exploring the city. I would love to take day trips to the other side of the city, or just use walk or use taxis, something, to get to different sites. So especially in the beginning, I think that will be fun. And getting used to the small interactions, getting used to different transportation methods. Exploring the grocery stores, the options, clothing stores, and of course street vendors, all of them. Try to find maybe Facebook groups or some other communities on different platforms to see cultural events, anything regarding immigration. So maybe there are groups, maybe there are weekend courses, or yeah, everything that helps me to integrate to the society. EA, is there as well. So contacting that group, seeing whether there are people who would be interested to meet up, hang out, network, start attending events when I can. It's a big place compared to Finland. There are 20 times as many people as in Finland. In Manila area, it's 14 million. In Tampere, it's 300,000. I'm not sure. I think it's 300 something. Tampere, no, 250. So it's 250,000. So 14 million, 250,000. A bit different. So I would love to find different kind of people, communities, not just Filipinos, but foreigners as well, like me. I would love to meet up with other Eastern or Southern Eastern Asian people. If there are people from Taiwan, great. So start having connections to different countries. Of course, I'm not the usual normal human type. I don't have normal hobbies. So maybe the EA community is better bet to find people who are interested in the same things. But as I said, 40 million people, I'm sure I will find opportunities to enjoy and learn about the local culture, the native people, native culture. So get comfortable there. That's the first step. Social media. That I have also mentioned many times, that my plan is to at some point start being more active on social media, meaning Instagram, Facebook, those are the same thing. Then well, that mainly, yes. Instagram for me is the main place where there are many people close to me, friends. I can start there. So start taking pictures, start showcasing my life. Right now, my life is quite boring, I would say, to many. I remain at the same spot daily and then don't go outside. But there, I would love to share my life. Many people would be interested to see a different scenery and hearing different stories. So that I would do throughout the experience, especially in the beginning. But of course, if I move there, I don't expect to move ever back to Finland, just visit. That's my plan. Let's see how well it goes. Yeah, after that, then starts the I will continue being active socially, and then start working at my place, whatever it will be. I will start working or continue working on these projects, and And yeah, start like what I'm doing now, just envisioning future. Have these projects somewhere that I can share them and collaborate with others. And then it's just about finding my people and getting projects to a point where, hey, we can maybe get funding for this. Of course, in my case, I already would have a job. I would join it part-time. And what's the idea about that? So wouldn't I be more, or wouldn't I get closer to world peace if I worked on it full time? So what's this opportunity for? I think that's my mindset, is I don't want to work on any of these projects, meaning I'm gonna initialize them. I will find people who share the same vision, who understands potential of this, and if I got like 10 people to work on a project, me being one of them is quite small compared to the whole thing. The Gipnoni technique, I don't want to be involved with or actively push that forward. If someone sees, hey, there's potential with this, let's share it to other people as well, especially people who want to help, who want to develop themselves to help better, then that's great. But the way I see it is I should focus on communication and my creative potential, which I could do with this job. Yes, it can be repetitive, just sending emails daily, sending tens or hundreds of emails, but I see the potential for that repetitive work to enhance my thinking capabilities, being active. Like I'm not kidding here. That of course I'm able to create all these ideas for these projects and solutions, but is it enough to reach world peace? I'm looking at this in a very long period of time. No, I'm looking far ahead. And I think at this stage, it's still very beneficial to just work on my core capabilities, which in this matter is communication and thinking. I can remove that communication part, thinking. My mind is still, it's too passive. It's too reactive only. That right now I'm excited. I noticed my energy level was increased a little bit. That's good, but I can't maintain that indefinitely. But I think and I'm not using IRAC here. I didn't use IRAC to build any of these solutions. I think there are more potentials there. Even if I'm not able to use them in my time, maybe someone else could. So this is not about my work specifically. It's a collaboration. It's a combined effort to make the world a better place and maybe reach world peace. So I'm continuing this self-development journey because I'm not where I want to be at. If I just join these projects, continue them. I can do that. I can be good at that. But could I reach a world peace with that? That's not clear. I mentioned before the alien and 100-year-old idea. That idea is to break, to have an avenue that I can use to scale up far and past the social norms, the social norm bubble. When I start to collaborate with others, we will form certain, and I will be pressured to settle for a certain amount of excitement level or creativity level, I feel, compared to what I can do on my own still. And of course, the Philippines job would be collaboration, but the repetitive part of that would possibly give me kind of private time to develop myself. So that's my hope with that. If it doesn't, so if it's not repetitive, then I can develop my skills there. So anywhere there, doesn't matter the type of work it is, I can develop my skills. So do I see myself working there for longer than a year? They would, of course, like me to. And that's a question mark for me. It really is, because when I keep talking about these projects, maybe I would get further away if I develop them. But as I use that example of having 10 people working on a project, me being very small part of that having a career at CGI could actually help me more. Am I just blinded by something here? Feels like might be a long stretch trying to make it work, but it's difficult to say how much potential there is inside the company. Like if I'm able to get into some sort of development around communication, like using dashboards, using data, AI solutions inside inner workings in an organization. I think all of those skills, and then maybe getting into some leading position role or managing role, HR role, I think they can help me further develop my skills and help me become this person that I wouldn't wouldn't get otherwise. Is it a long stretch? If I just joined an EA community and became active there, started to host some workshops, started to host events, wouldn't that give me enough communication skills And then if I work on these solutions on my own or with others, wouldn't I learn about the technologies like data structures and but then again, I don't want to become that. I think the greatest potential for me would be to focus on communication. Because I already have enough knowledge about the technical part. I can understand if someone explains, if I use a little bit of time to get deep into technical solution, I can communicate that then. But what I think I have unique is my motivation, my philosophy, my understanding of this reality, my goal, my self-development skills. And I can use communication way more effectively than my technical skills in a project. That if I just was able to if I'm able to present the ideas well enough and get people interested, motivate them, then they are the ones who will build the product. And that's the highest level of effectiveness. I wouldn't be attached to any solution. I wouldn't have to learn technical part because of AI, of course, as well. That me advancing on this career, if I'm able to develop myself well, I would become the best speaker, the best motivator, like facilitator or group lead, anything that I could advance in this company. I would add value to them. So it's important for me to not kind of fail. So not promise something and then not deliver. Even if it's a year, then I hope I have been worth it. They have paid me enough, but I have paid them more with my work. I have motivated my possible future colleagues enough. I have developed their systems, their kind of the mindset, kept it positive and fun, the environment and everything. I think that no one would be kind of dissatisfied if I left the company at some point. If I left, it was because I became very good at what I do there. So I feel that if I'm not able to grow in the company, grow my skills, become very good at what I do, understand everything as well as possible, then I haven't reached my goal. If I'm not able to self-develop there, then I can't do that outside. And if I'm able to develop myself there, it will be worth it for me and for the company. And it will be about communication, the system knowledge, the AI solutions, whatever there are, like humans, HR, managing or seeing a big organization from the inside, something like that. So knowledge, and then plus all of the experience in the Philippines. That even if I didn't make the projects myself, create the technical solutions, data structures, or algorithms, I think the decision to take this position would not go to waste. If it showcased that I can't develop myself, my communication skills, then it becomes different. Would it change something? The way I see it is I can't fail with this. Whereas if I focused on creating some digital solution, I would become an engineer. Full day, all day, working on some code, some logic. I'm good at that. So that would be kind of the logical, natural choice. But the problem with that is I can't let the marketing, the communication part to others, because I feel that they're not doing enough. That will be the bottleneck, not the product, but the communication of it. That I can't scale the product enough. That it's more important to communicate this. And at the same time, I do believe I can develop it. Even little by little, one day a week, I can develop it further. And I think in the CGI, they would be happy if I were there at least 2 years. But also in the end, if leaving the company meant for bigger chance for world peace, I don't think people there would complain. Yeah. Making the solutions myself. I think this is the safest bet. To focus on communication, the part that I'm worst at. Also thinking. It would be thinking. And then life there, working from Monday to Friday. Normally it can vary sometimes, but I think it will be that quite constant. Having some social life. having found some sort of frame that I mentioned, some sort of balance, better understanding of humanity. Hmm. And I'm fully aware that what I'm envisioning might be too big of a stretch. I'm trying to find positive things, but it's possible the simplest advice would be the best. Just start doing these projects, not waste time with any meaningless work or not that productive. I would disagree. It's over 4 years. When I have been developing myself more. And only in the last year I've done it properly. And only in the last few months I've done it well, in a new way. I've done it with a meaning. And each day, each week, I get further and further away. Closer to my vision. I don't like that I'm unable to break or find any good counter arguments, because it might be an indicator that I'm too blinded, my mind just doesn't want to consider any other options, wants me to choose this. Trying to balance the options. So if I stayed here, applied for jobs, and chose one of them, that would probably be worse than this Philippines. So that immediately would be a worse choice. So what even is a better choice than that? To live here and not take any job other than what would actually help directly get me skills or would be some of my projects that I would make or find funding for. What is a better alternative? yet again, those skills. Thinking about this in long term. Just turned 28. Using a few years to develop myself further. That should not. Well, it's difficult to say because of AI, how rapidly it is evolving. 3 years might be like a long time. Too much. And then it's also difficult to say how much would I be able to develop on my own. I'm now talking about this passion, building this passion, but maybe it takes months to develop myself to any significant amount. It's not about thinking about this theoretically. What is practical? What is feasible that I can do? That communication, like needing repetition. If I had enough motivation, I should be able to develop myself here, find some people, practice in real situations. Practicing on my own. I already do all of my developments on my own without any need to, well, I need data, I need experiences to know what is the problem and then develop it. But outside, how much am I able to just use AI maybe to notice some patterns that I do? So could I, if I look back at the rate or the speed of my progress, I would say it's not enough. It's not good enough indicator to tell me whether it will or how it will continue. Am I able to keep developing myself? If I get this job, I will say definitely, because it's not an option that I would be pressured to develop myself because of that boredom pressure. I naturally want to develop anything I do, especially in long term. And especially if there are opportunities there. When I was in civil service, in the hospital, it was 9 months, and I knew it was gonna end. So I didn't have motivation to kind of optimize my routes or anything. I didn't want to learn more because I knew it wasn't gonna lead to anything. I didn't have motivation, but here I would have. But yes, it's possible that the developments I would do in a year, I could do in a month, just without this work, this job. It's possible. But now being realistic, is it realistic? I had thoughts 4 years ago that it's not going to take long for me to start using the IRAC. I'm still not using it. 2.5 years ago, I thought, hey, this is now starting, or yeah, I'm going to start using it. 2 years ago, I thought the same. 1 year ago, I thought the same. Still not happened. Yeah, I think I can't find any cracks with this plan. I'm excited. It would be fun. At least it would speed up like immediately 1 month or 2 months of productivity. Meaning if this happened, immediately I would become as productive as I would without it be in 3 months. So 3 months packed into one. So that's good. And then, yeah, just getting the experience right away from living abroad, far from home. That's so valuable. I can't develop it here at least. Okay, how valuable? But I think it's enough to end it. So I'm not trying to find cracks with this plan. Can I increase the passion, the motivation? Now suddenly I start to feel tired again. It's past 9. I'm too tired to continue thinking about it. Like this. So I think I need the visual stimulus. It's too early to go to sleep. I think I have activated my brain enough to have motivation to continue on this matter. Actually, I don't even have any other thing to think about. So that's kind of easy. I thought about this before the stream, and yeah, it's where my thoughts are. Developing myself, thinking about my future. Normal stuff. So I think I will end it here. When I watch music videos, it will enable different thoughts and better daydreaming than what I can do here. So it has its own benefits. Yeah, I guess it was this time. Tomorrow, I don't know what I will do, but it's not gonna be about passion. But I feel that because I have tomorrow left, then yeah, not really anything on any time on Thursday, but tomorrow at least, if I can increase my passion, my interest, and get better understanding why I would do these developments, get more excited about this opportunity, it's beneficial for focusing on this now, then see whether that will help tomorrow's developments, whatever I do. Actually, yeah, no, last thing. K-pop update. Last thing, very important, but need to document this. And this is nothing but random. K-pop update. I have watched music videos the last month or month and a half, and I made I talked about this on stream in January, I believe, and then I talked about different groups that I have followed and my favorite songs, maybe even. But Dreamcatcher, your group, can I write this correct? Dreamcatcher is my old group, and I don't think they have high quality photo. No, actually go back then. Something more high quality, something more recent. I think this is quite good. There are only 6 of them. Yeah, bad news. So Dreamcatcher, when I started to listen to them, the first bias was Yuyan, and then maybe 2 years later, or no, 1 year later, Dreamcatcher concert was my first concert, proper concert I attended. And after that, I think Dummy became my bias. So changing bias in a group has happened before with Blackpink. It was first Lisa and then Jisoo, but never twice. So a week ago, I watched music videos, and then I started to think about my bias in Dreamcatcher. And for some time already, it had kind of started to switch, and a week ago I decided that it's time to switch it to Chiu, not Chisu, Chiu. And I just want to say that it's very interesting experience, and to have a bias in K-pop, because it means that you kind of make a decision. So it feels like a decision that this is my bias, and it goes the same way as elections, that you just need 51% and then one party wins. But then afterwards it can change. Maybe the popularity drops to 30%, what is in the US currently, I think. But still that party rules, that won the election. It doesn't matter if the popularity drops. There should be maybe a system where if it drops too much, then it means that there needs to be a new re-election. But this was the same kind, that because I had chosen dummy, it was clear, like 2 years ago. It meant even though maybe the popularity or how I saw her, felt about her as my bias, even if it started to switch, because the decision that was stronger, that kind of kept her as my bias. But little by little, I started to switch towards Chiu. It's possible it's because dummy is less less shown in the videos. Like Chiu has much bigger role. She sings more lines and so on. So it's possible that is one reason I know. But anyways, it was interesting that I already kind of thought that she might be my bias, or if someone else than dummy would be my bias, she would be that. But I didn't allow myself to think that way. But then when I made the decision, finally I made the decision that I can change that. I can change the bias. It felt kind of wrong to change the bias. But then I made the decision, and suddenly I like felt like some sort of what could I feel this during my self-development using the technique, for example, that some brain chemistry changes. So there's some sort of rush of emotion, maybe some spark, some change. So it feels like there's a dam that breaks a little bit, and then there's a flush of river or water. But in the brain, so some sort of change happens. So here was the same. Suddenly I kind of locked into her, then she became the bias, and it was interesting that I had that sort of control over the decision, and then it was kind of sudden. Then of course it made sense, because using the elections again as an example, maybe her popularity was 65% and her had dropped to 35%. So it was clear, but it wasn't, it didn't happen before I made the decision. But yes, this was the first time that my bias has changed twice. And probably it will stay here, because in general my biases are the leaders, the older members, and she is the leader and the oldest. But yeah, K-pop update. Even though, and I haven't watched any normal or behind the scenes YouTube video about K-pop. So just music, and I'm using it to think better. But still, this bias change happened. Of course, I have followed the content enough to know kind of enough of every one of them. Yeah, that was the quick update about that. Now the stream ends.